Go ahead.
Are we good?
Go ahead, Hawk.
Welcome back to the Fellowship.
Action.
Episode 4. Ryan Engle, the resident guest, is here. He's pouring us some stiff drinks, which we need. I just got back from Las Vegas, Nevada, which we'll get into momentarily.
Let's hear about it.
Well, we're going to talk about it in just a little bit. I got a text message yesterday.
We got a great show lined up for you guys.
Well, let them be the judge of that. Got a text yesterday, now that I have been unemployed for 2 months, asking if
Congratulations.
Asking if I've put on 30 pounds and developed an incurable drinking habit. It was one of those.
The answer is yes.
It was one of those text messages where, at first I laughed, and then I got really, really sad because I realized
that it's true.
It's 100% true. It's the reality that we're living in right now. But let's make the most of it. Let's have some fun. Let's enjoy these times, and cheers to the Fellowship.
Cheers the bottom, since you have COVID.
I do not.
Just kidding.
No,
just kidding.
No.
Mr. Hawk.
Or Mr. Engle.
Let me know when that test comes back. What you get, man?
Why don't you shut your mouth? Oh, we're back.
Yeah, let's do another one.
Yeah, you know what? I actually want to start off this episode with a cheers to Nick Smith. He is our director of photography, our producer, our editor. The main feedback we're getting from the show so far, 1 month in, is that the production quality is through the roof, and it is.
Yeah.
So I do want to shout out Nick Smith because I feel like he doesn't get enough credit for making
Well,
us
he
look.
got the credit of the 15 people that commented that the production was great.
You like to downplay the audience, and actually the audience is growing every single day. And if you're watching this, don't forget you can listen on Apple Podcasts, Google, Stitcher, and Spotify. And if you're watching this, which I already just said, if you're listening to this, you can watch it on YouTube. It's a far more compelling product.
Can you hold that for me?
On tape. And you're about to get into some Backwoods here. These are a cigarillo.
The old honey, yeah. It's like a Clint Eastwood cheroot.
Sure.
As they say.
Yeah.
And these are great golf course smokes. I was turned on to them by an old timer who lived downstairs from me at the first condo I had in Dana Point. Extreme, our guest who's going to come on, he remembers that condo quite well. And the old timer down there, he would fire these things up in the morning, and I would sit out on my balcony and drink my cup of coffee because I had this cool little eucalyptus tree thing, and it just my little Zen morning ritual. And I just get a waft of his little morning backwood. He was this old sailor guy downstairs, and it was soon right after then I was, hey, Don, what the fuck are you smoking, man? What is that? He's like, Backwoods, have a pack, you know? And rest is history. He turned me on to these. It's a love affair that I'm very very fond of.
Gotta love a Backwoods. It's like a cigar without the commitment.
Yeah. Their Instagram is quite interesting. This is technically a flavored cigar, but and obviously there's a culture of people who take the tobacco out and use this wrapper to make a blunt out of them, which is cool. But nowadays you can buy blunt wraps, so I wonder why you would spend the X amount on the tobacco. I just don't understand. But their Instagram is very, very much so caters to that form of it, which I find interesting.
Yeah.
Because I thoroughly enjoy the shitty tobacco that they give you with the actual cigar. So.
Well, enjoy that. I mentioned in the open that I just got back from Las Vegas. I was out there with some friends for the weekend. Haven't been to Vegas in a long, long time. Vegas is obviously a tourist city with a lot of people. Because of the pandemic, it's just now getting back. It was packed. But the conversation I want to have around Las Vegas, us being desert guys, and when we say the desert, we're talking about the Coachella Valley, which consists of Palm Springs, Indian Wells, Indio, Cathedral City, La Quinta, Rancho Mirage. You and I both agree that the Coachella Valley, aka the Des,
as we like to call it,
much better than Las Vegas on every single level.
Well, Vegas lost its charm. Palm Springs still has it, and they do a good job of holding on to it. Whether it be the architecture, the vibe, and I get it that Vegas has turned into a commercial kind of metropolis, so to speak. But when it comes to the entertainment side of Vegas, there is no more charm. You know, it's like the difference between a jumbotron at a sporting event and a good old-fashioned organ.
Yeah, how about that?
And you know what? Some people like that sort of thing, but for us who have an appreciation and basically a need for that old school Americana flavor, you were even saying that even Fremont is somewhat of a disco now.
Which is Old Vegas. Old Vegas used to have the charm that we're talking about. It's crazy. It's a disco, it's a rave, it's insane, it's LED lights everywhere. Nothing against it, but if you're a Southern Californian just trying to, thank you, just trying to get out of town, I'll take the 2-hour trip down the 111 to Palm Springs over the 5-hour drive to Las Vegas, where you just get your clock cleaned if you go to a casino. I feel like when you're in Palm Springs...
Not when you bet like me.
I feel like... Well, okay, go ahead. Explain your betting. Because
You explain it.
Well, okay, your betting is if you go to a $5 minimum table, you put down $100.
I piss gasoline on a bonfire.
Yeah, and you'll hit on 17 if the dealer's showing 18. You're a wild man.
Bet big, win big, or lose big.
Yeah, and I love the way that you play cards. But, you know, when you're in the Coachella Valley, Palm Springs, there's just two things on your agenda. It's moving from the refrigerator to get a cold drink to the pool and back and forth.
It's a different mentality. Going to Vegas or going anywhere to gamble with the mentality of I either want or need to win money.
Yeah.
That's like going to a strip club and looking for a new girlfriend.
Right.
Your mentality is skewed. It's incorrect.
Yeah.
The mentality you need is the money is spent. This is entertainment.
Yeah.
And God damn it, if that doesn't work in your favor more often than not, because now your energy is like,
I don't
win,
care.
lose, or
Let's
draw.
go.
I am. Hit me.
Yeah.
Woo! You know, like it just happens that way. If you're sitting there like, fuck, my chips are getting down. I really need this win and stuff.
Yeah.
That money's gone. Dude.
Yeah. And
You know?
I went there needing the money that I spent, so I didn't have the best time in the world. But
So you came out really good, huh?
yeah, really good,
Yeah.
really good. A lot of stress and anxiety on the way back. Geoff Overstreet is here today. He is an old friend of yours. He is a new friend of mine. I've known Geoff for a little over a year, and actually the first day I met him, one of the most interesting things happened, and we'll get into that when he joins us. And since we didn't have a guest last week, why don't we bring Geoff on right now?
I don't know Geoff, but I know a guy named Extreme.
Oh, okay. Let's find out how he got the
and
name.
I think he's here, and I think we need to
Let's
bring him on the
go. Come
show
on
right
in.
now. The X-Man is
Come
here.
on, let's go.
How we doing, guys?
Yeah.
We're doing great.
What do you got here?
Whoa.
This is
Hey,
a nice,
good to
Thanks
see
for having me on,
nice
guys.
token.
Yeah.
Here, please
Thanks for
take
having
my
me on.
seat.
Yeah.
Take my seat.
Come on in.
You can use that coaster.
Yeah. Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
you look,
welcome.
You look fantastic. Rule number 1 with a jacket is you only button one button. Rule number 2 is you unbutton both of them when you sit down.
You know, I was thinking about that, but it looks so good on me, Adam. I didn't want to take it off, but I'm going to, with my belly being so big, I probably should take it off. There we go.
Fair enough. We don't
How's
want to
that?
have Nick get a button to the eye. So appreciate you being here.
It's happened before.
Haven't seen anyone smoke a cigarette on the set yet, so you're a Renaissance man, and we can appreciate
Thank
that.
God for you.
Cheers to that, guys.
And
Cheers.
thank you for
Cheers.
being here.
Thanks for having me on.
Geoff Overstreet, also known as Geoff, also known as Extreme. Long history with Ryan Engle. You actually go back to the very first Nation Desert Classic. This is a 13-year-old tournament. A tournament in which 144 players play now.
Yep.
There's a wait list about 10 times that long. You were there when it was called the Engle Scramble.
That's right.
You've been to all 13, one of just a few people. And at the time, this tournament is now 144 players big. At the time, you were one of 8.
It was incredible. So the first year we went out was...
That weekend was something else.
it was incredibly memorable. 8 of us.
Yeah.
And we stayed at a presidential house,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah, it was at that time the name had changed to Palm Springs National,
That's right.
but it was Old Canyon Country Club, which is now known as Indian Canyons. And you're right, we stayed at one of those houses, but man, that was a wild time. We were celebrating my little brother's 21st birthday.
That's right.
And we were celebrating my plaintiff #1 bachelor party. And
correct.
so
Plaintiff number one is a pseudonym for what?
my first wife. Yeah. Estranged. Is that what you say? Estranged wife, or can you?
I don't know. Never
I don't
been
know the
divorced.
terminology, Adam. I'm just the resident guest.
Sure.
Yeah.
But Extreme was one of 8, and we could have probably 2 shows about that entire weekend.
You know, one of the great things about that weekend was I was able to buy his brother his first lap dance at Showgirls.
Wonderful.
And Showgirls is a place where men are created and souls are lost. Okay?
Well, strippers aren't necessarily known as real people. They don't show up in pictures and or mirrors. So they're kind of like soulless creatures. You know what I mean? It's an interesting fact.
And, back to what you were saying earlier about...
That's why they don't let you take pictures in there, because then you realize that they don't show up in pictures and you're like, these are fucking ghosts. So didn't know if you knew that, Adam.
A lot of people early on when Twitter was a thing, they would say in their Twitter bio, opinions are my own and they do not express the viewpoint of my employer. Saying that strippers are not people is an opinion exclusive to my co-host, and it does not
I didn't
express...
come up with it. I was learnt that.
And
Just
you've adopted it as your own.
My own.
So before we go on, it's important to bring the audience in on any of the jokes, and you have been called Extreme a number of times already by Ryan Engle. That's your nickname. Where does the nickname Extreme come from?
Well, it happened back in high school. I was into a lot of extreme sports, mountain biking, rollerblading.
Yeah. Which was new at the time.
Which was new at the time. I kind of created that.
Big fan of the movie Brink.
Lightning blades
Now,
were the thing.
correct me if I'm wrong, because I've actually never talked to you about how it started, but I was under the impression that, in the back of the yearbook, how like your parents would do these super lame like collages, like good luck with your fucking next adventures, and there's pictures of you like wiping your ass and fucking being a weirdo.
Yep.
And his was just like these just amazing photos of just like action, dude.
Action.
Like jumping his bike and like fucking, striking someone out in the baseball field and like doing something. There's like 7 different fucking like, extreme sports on there, and so it was just like, this guy's name is fucking Extreme.
I was very lucky to have my neighbor was the head photographer of the yearbook.
Oh,
Great.
So, I
Yeah.
kind of squeezed my way in on the backside of the yearbook that
You
day.
curated your
So-
own photos. You had final approval. That's wonderful.
He said he needed a face, and there I was.
Yeah.
So
one more thing, Adam. You know how there was a brief moment in time, and it's completely outdated now. There was a moment in time where Extreme was like a very overly used marketing term for a lot of different things.
Very
It
true.
still is now.
Very true.
This, when he was gifted that nickname, this was a long time before that moment in time.
99,
It was
2000.
like, you know how like they started calling Dwight Howard Superman when
Yeah.
Shaq was really the first Superman?
Yeah.
Correct.
This is the first Extreme.
Extreme was Extreme before Tony Hawk landed the 900 at the X Games.
100%.
Got it.
Yeah.
funny thing about Tony Hawk, I was actually the first guy to reach 1 million points on Tony Hawk 1,
Is that right?
which is extreme.
Yeah, that's very extreme. That game recently reissued. I don't know if you got a chance to play it again. It's actually it's a better game played back 20 years ago when you're in the moment. The nostalgia wears off really quick. As a guy that has scored 1 million points, did you ever revisit that game?
There was a few games that I really mastered back there in that day. Tony Hawk being one of them.
Yeah.
Super Mario Kart was also the other one.
How about that?
I invented the jump turn. And,
That was you.
A lot
Great
of people don't understand. I mean,
Yeah.
it's one of those things. I used to be a gamer, kind of am still now, not really. But as we grow old, you kind of move past those things.
Well, the term gamer has quite a few meanings. A gamer could be someone that wastes their life playing video games with a giant headset on.
Yeah.
A gamer can also be someone that shows up when it matters most. This brings me to our very first meeting. The day I met you, the three of us and a couple of other Ryan's friends
Great segue.
went out to. Thank you. It's the broadcast professional in me. A couple of Ryan's friends, you and I, went out to Monarch Beach to play in what was then called the Dirty Derby, put on by the now defunct Dirty Bird Golf. Don't know what happened to Dirty Bird Golf.
That's right.
But
yeah.
I feel like we were there right as that wave started to foam out on the shore. Anyway, we come up to number 5 in this derby. you're part of a 2-man group. Number 5 is a par 3. It's got some water on the right.
181 yards.
191, and every bit of it too. This is no cheapie. And why don't you tell the viewers at home what happened in front of not only a bunch of cameras, but a bunch of people and me. I had known you for 2 hours. What happened?
Well, it was like yesterday, really. Nick, can we do another Swinglube, please?
Yeah, please.
There was 50 guys playing that day. We and my partner, Matt, happened to be the last 2 guys to tee off. We were kind of got lost behind, and we were, smoking a joint before we teed off, and we were getting yelled at. So I grabbed my 7-iron, 191 yards, no big deal.
Yeah.
And
So you sawed it off a little bit.
saw it off, and I could see Ryan and a few of our friends close to the green. So I just let it fly.
Yeah.
And I'm walking off, and I pulled it a little bit, but there's a hump on that mound on the green.
Sure.
And so we're walking off, and I'm like, oh, it's still going. It's still going. There it is!
In the bottom of the cup.
In the bottom of the cup, and in front of 50 people.
On camera.
On camera.
What a moment. And I'll tell you this.
Was that your first one?
That was the first one.
Wow.
Yeah, that was back in July.
Now, I
Back in
can't
July.
lie to you, despite the fact that not only was I there and not only was it a derby, which the format of a derby calls for every single player to be on the same hole at the same time.
Correct.
So it's not a bunch of foursomes scattered. The entire group was there. However, because I had hoselled one into the water for our 2-man group, Ryan and I were seeing if we could find my ball down by the water or if it was in. So we missed your hole-in-one because we were trying to
We
fish.
heard it.
Yeah, we were trying to fish
Fly
mine
over
out of
my
the
head.
drink. Yeah. But that was amazing. And it's kind of a tradition that I learned about because I've only witnessed 2 aces, that you are supposed to take the pin flag. We're sitting in the boardroom right now. It's what we call our studio. Above us, Engle's got a couple of pin flags from Indian Wells and PGA West, the Arnold Palmer signature course, from a couple of aces that he's made. I don't know if Monarch was okay with you taking the flag, but you went back and stole it anyway.
This is correct. I was a little
I think
hesitant.
I told you to, didn't I?
You did tell me to.
Yeah.
I was a little hesitant at first. And then I had to take a triple tequila shot. And that kind of settled me down a little bit. So the great part about that was it was kind of at the peak of COVID, and I didn't have to buy a shot for anyone.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
off the hook on that.
Yeah.
So nothing was open.
That's wonderful.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's absolutely great. You're also known as a glass half full guy. This is your personality in a world that isn't
He's an
glass.
extreme manifester.
Right. Okay. So in a world that I won't even say the world is glass half empty. The world right now is just glass empty, glass shattered.
Absolutely.
You have one of the most positive outlooks and mindset on life all the time.
Thank you.
Is this a conscious decision, or is this just who you are?
I'd like to thank my parents for raising me the right way. I've been through a lot, being an athlete my whole life, having great friends like Ryan. Life's short, and every day is a new challenge, and we like to create great moments.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm all about, man.
Yeah.
And that's what every day.
Memories. Cheers
That's
to that.
it.
Hey, cheers to that. When someone says I've been through a lot and then says being an athlete and having great friends, that doesn't sound like you've been through a lot. It sounds like you had one of the best lives of all time.
Yeah.
And
Life's what you make it.
we all have challenges. We all have, our issues. But when you surround yourself with people like Ryan
Sure.
and you, Adam, now, and, life's a lot better.
How about that?
And I appreciate both of you guys.
Yeah.
Going back to that first scramble, which is now the Nation Desert Classic at Indian Wells, coming up on year 14, you did bring this.
Oh, yeah.
This is a wonderful relic.
Yes.
It's a handmade trophy. It says first annual Engle Scramble. There is a persimmon wood on here.
Chopped off with a hacksaw.
Chopped off with a hacksaw, super glued on, next to a guy who honestly looks like he's in a windstorm. He's swaying more than I am.
That was
And
the swing back then.
That was it.
I wish it was
Yeah.
still the swing now. It'd be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And then we've got a Noodle Zero with a really cool Nation logo on it.
Yeah, that was the first
That's
Nation
that
logo.
was the first one.
It honestly,
Nation surfboards.
it looks like the logo of a paintball gun supply store. Yeah, if you needed to go get some CO2 for your weekend round with the buddies, this looks like the logo.
That logo was circa 2006. So the pants were baggy, the hair was spiky, and the chicks' eyebrows looked like they were painted on like a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
So
We still thought we could do everything back then.
I think you still do.
True. Absolutely.
Extreme sense. So Extreme's part of our Wednesday group, the Gillis group at Muni that is quite infamous among the internet now.
Yeah.
Or at least we'd like to think so.
Absolutely.
What's cool about that is, over the years, as I was gifted into that group, I was always asked, like, you got anyone that wants to join us up? And I was always hesitant to bring anyone because now it's like my responsibility. Like,
Absolutely.
if the guys don't like him or doesn't fit in or whatever, it's like Engle brought this guy.
Right.
But you were one of the first guys that I brought in that I was just like, Extreme is perfect for you guys, And now he's a staple in the group, which has been great. So what does the Wednesday golf group kind of mean to you?
When I was brought in,
And didn't really know what to expect. I knew I was with England, so I knew most of the guys were going to be great. After meeting all the guys and now playing every Wednesday with them,
Yeah.
I mean, we've developed relations that are going to last forever.
Yeah.
Let's call it relationships.
Yeah.
Relations typically means sex. You've developed. Does
it though?
Well, I never had sexual relations. Relationships. You've developed great relationships, and if you've developed relations, that's fine. I'm good with that. But great relationships at this Wednesday group.
Yes.
Something that stuck with me the other Wednesday when we were all three there was we were at the bar at the tavern afterwards. And Extreme told you, he said, yeah, I've known Engle a long time. If Engle met the Engle from 15 years ago, he'd probably kick his ass. And I thought about what you said, and I was like, you know what? I probably would have kicked my ass. That was one of the greatest comments I ever heard.
This Wednesday group, it's a phenomenal thing to be a part of because right now it's very difficult to get a tee time. Absolutely. It's very difficult to slot 4 of your friends in. This is like 16 people playing back to back to back.
Yeah.
Everyone meets down at the driving range and the cart corral, and there's a lot of jaw jacking, a lot of horse hockey, a lot of banter. It's great. You get to the first box, you go off.
Horse hockey.
There's a bunch of games going on.
Yes.
There's closest to the pin. There's a little money skins game. It's just a great time with great people. My one issue with the Wednesday group, there's a lot of sticks out there. And
Indeed.
There is, but there's just as many who aren't.
Yeah.
And when you have a gross skins game with that size of a group, basically the easy holes are usually covered.
yes.
So those sticks are going to cover each other on all the easy holes. So it evens out the field in the sense that the holes that are hard to birdie are still gettable, and that's pretty much anyone's game. And that's
Absolutely.
why you'll see Tinsley or Marshall or Tater, they'll get one on 8 or something, and then
They'll sneak one in.
They'll sneak one in
Yep.
and $300. So it takes the pressure off that for those guys. So, you are right that the guys who are really good, more often than not, will get 1 or 2 every week, no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I think other than that, it's pretty fair.
Yeah.
I mean, my issue is not with the money or knowing that I'm probably not going to win money. The issue is when you play around a lot of great players, there's this pressure to keep up. Sure. Add on the pressure of dressing well and being a co-owner of a golf company. There's this unspoken expectation that this guy can swing it a little bit. And I think we all know...
It's amazing that your brain works that way.
I think we all know
That's
at
incredible.
this point he can't swing it a little bit.
Yeah.
Might run into one here and there. So that's when you play with people that are better than you, a lot of people say it makes you better. Not me.
So basically what you're trying to say
And
is
you've
your
improved.
problem...
You've improved
I think.
Yeah.
a lot.
Basically what he's trying to say, X, is his problem with the Wednesday group is himself.
Gotcha.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Way to get to the bottom of that.
We hear a lot of people like you. We have such an eclectic group of men
Yeah.
in this group.
I'd say motley.
Yeah, and the great thing is that we've got literally 20 to 25 of us every Wednesday. There's great banter, and we all get to meet afterwards at our local bar.
That's another great thing about this group is when you play golf, there's a lot of the I got to race home, got to beat the clock. When you play in the Wednesday group, it's I got to get the best seat at the bar.
Yep.
And everyone goes and eats lunch together, tells stories, swaps a little bit of cash. Nobody gets hurt. It's fun. They let you bet the ponies
You know what I just realized?
at the bar.
To kind of touch on what we spoke about in last week's episode that was just you and I, about the, for lack of a better term, attack on country club culture. The what we're talking about, this Wednesday group and getting together afterwards, having a little banter and a game and like, a weekly thing on the calendar, and basically the fellowship. That's realistically a country club culture type of thing.
Yeah.
That's
It
what
really
you
is.
see at country clubs mostly is the guys form these groups within the club and they get together and do that thing. So it's rare to see that in such a strong fashion at a public course like that, which is really cool to be a part of because
Absolutely.
whether Dave and the guys in the shop like us or not, I think deep down inside they like the idea that we have a group.
We all
Yeah.
come
and
together.
we're there,
We're all
and,
playing
and-
together.
and for the most part, we're shining a pretty good light on SC Muni. So,
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I'd like to take this moment to shout out San Clemente Municipal Golf Course. They just brought in, and Geoff, if you wouldn't mind holding it up for the camera, they just brought in Smoking Tom's Swinglube, a collaboration beer between Indie Brewing Company and Nation Golf. Our
Delicious.
beer, thank you, our beer, which we made, is now at our home track.
that's great.
And
Yeah.
there's nothing cooler than that. Now our friends
I mean,
in our Wednesday group can buy that.
It is fantastic. The other day I bought 6. I think it was like $120.
Yeah.
Good deal. That's cheap at twice the price.
And you know what? It's a great flavor, and I'm so stoked you guys didn't do an IPA.
Oh,
Yeah.
God,
Thank God.
I mean,
Yeah.
it really does. It's got a great flavor. You can drink it all day.
Yeah.
and it's just delicious.
Well,
This isn't an IPA. This is an IP freely.
yeah, and we're going to do a Swing Lube episode in the future where we bring on our friend and the CEO of Indie Brewing Company and talk
Tell
to
me to
him.
bring a check.
Yeah, that would be great. We're going to talk about the collaboration and
Bring a check.
everything.
I've been checking my mail and
Yeah, but one
Nothing
thing,
yet, huh?
one thing you did mention that's very important is it's not an IPA. Everyone makes an IPA. There's billions of IPAs out there.
double black.
The IPA craze is over. We went through that 10 years ago.
And also, who wants an IPA on the golf course? It's hot out.
It's hot.
You want to have 6 of them. You don't want to be blind drunk.
Yeah.
You still got to play a game.
Yeah.
The IPA will knock you out.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
I'm not dogging the taste of it. I like an IPA. But if I'm out on the golf course, to borrow a slogan from FUBU,
Yeah.
for us, by us, this is for golfers, by golfers. If we were going to make a golf beer, we had to make something that we would want to drink and not something that's, trendy and, just hopped out and high ABV and everything like that.
I mean, the last guy that I saw drinking IPAs on the course, he was splattering mud on the 15th hole.
Oh, wow.
So, the IPAs...
Shaddy shit his pants again?
Yes. They're a little tough on your stomach,
Yeah.
So you stay away from the IPAs.
Yeah. Let's get off of golf for 2 seconds and let's talk about one of the most important topics to Ryan and I, which is McDonald's. This has been a big week for McDonald's because we got some coupons and we hit up McDonald's I think 3 times this week.
Have we really?
Yeah. And by the way,
Congratulations.
we're unashamed of it. Now the thing about
McDonald's is a great American restaurant.
would you agree with that?
I would. I'm a big fan of their breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh, no one does it better.
I mean, the sausage McMuffin and
Yeah.
egg.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Right. Now, this is a restaurant that takes a lot of shit because it's considered lowbrow, unhealthy. How come the drive-through line is always out to the street at every single McDonald's nationwide?
Every single
24/7?
one.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
So the reason I bring it up is to tie it back into my Vegas trip. one of the qualms we have with McDonald's here in California, $12 combos. As you said when we walked in, what happened to this country? What happened to this country where these fried chicken combos are $12?
We went in there with coupons.
Yeah.
And got lunch for us and my wife and stuff, brought it back. And I was looking at the receipt, and I was like, those fuckers charged me $4.69 for a large fry.
Can you believe that?
$5 for fries? What happened, dude?
Yeah. So when I was in Vegas, they have not updated their prices at all. You can still get a $6, a $7 combo. That's one of the places where you can actually save in that godforsaken town.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted to bring up McDonald's because it was a big week. We ate it today, and I wanted to get your opinion as an American man on if you stand behind this restaurant or not.
I really do. And I believe the whole health craze, we got to be healthy. But 1 or 2 days a week?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
I mean,
Big Mac down. Tell me how you feel.
Exactly.
What's your go-to order outside of breakfast?
I've always been a big fan of the quarter pounder.
Great sandwich.
Quarter
Great
pounder.
Sandwich.
You get your golden fries. And you know what the best part about McDonald's is their Coca-Cola and their straw.
There's just something about it.
Where else can you get a straw that size?
I think they infuse the straw with cane sugar or
100%.
something. Because when it hits you, there's a different bubble and just a different consistency. It might even be pepper. I don't know. They put something in their Coke. It just keeps me coming back.
I usually finish the Coke and have to go back around and get a refill before I leave.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean,
Double drive-through.
Double drive-through. Yeah.
They top me off, babe.
And
Remember me?
and she's like, "Did you forget something?" And I'm like, "No, not really." But, but top it off.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, back to golf. Last time I played with you, you were wearing the shirt that Ryan is wearing. That's the King of the Des.
That's my favorite of the apparel that you guys have.
That's because it was a free giveaway.
Yes. Yeah. And the blue really brings my eyes out.
Yeah.
So I enjoy
and the pants are doing the same thing for you today.
This is the pants. I wanted to wear this. Really
That's
show
a great
the Des.
Bob Hope blue right there.
So I actually wore this back at the last Nation Scramble.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
For the dinner.
For the dinner.
Yeah, good for you.
For the dinner.
You're a great supporter of the brand. You'll wear the shirt often to the Wednesday group. The last time I played with you, I believe you wore board shorts with the shirt, much to the chagrin of my co-host.
Ryan loves when I wear board shorts to golf.
Yeah. Your take on him pairing a Nation Classic hard collar untucked with board shorts?
It was tucked in.
Oh, fair enough. That might have made it look...
Yeah, it might have squeezed out of my butt.
I only scratch
After a
my
few
head
holes.
because I'm like, I don't think, to the best of my knowledge, there's a pond or lake anywhere on that golf course. So I'm wondering where you plan on going swimming.
Yeah.
But, everyone's got their own deal.
I think
When I see Extreme show up to the golf course disheveled as far as wardrobe is concerned, I'd like to think that he was probably beating buns the night before and he just kind of barely made it there.
Usually.
So
yeah.
he's a ladies' man. Everybody knows it. And I don't, forgive me if I sound or come across insulting at first.
Not at all.
I don't think it's necessarily the looks that God graced you with, but it's definitely the game in which you are able to spit. Am I wrong or in that
Absolutely
assessment?
right.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. The positivity goes a long way.
Yeah.
I think he just called you ugly with a great personality. I would like you to unspin this positively and address the co-host for what he just said. Your name is spelled Geoff.
Geoff.
That is correct.
Which, a lot of people call you Extreme. Even more people call you Geoff.
I get a lot of that too.
As a Jeff whose name is spelled Geoff, are you okay with the Geoff?
It's nice to be different, and I've always been different pretty much my whole life. People have always been, a little
different, special.
like, who is this guy Geoff? I'm like, it's just me, and I've accumulated a lot of nicknames over the years.
Yeah.
Geoff just kind of rolls off the tongue.
Bonafide.
Bonafide is another one. But Geoff, I get a lot of that. A lot of women call me Jeffrey. That's actually my full name.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
I get a lot of Jeffreys from women. So
how does
which
it
is
sound
cool.
when they say that? Like what type of pitch?
They do like Jeffrey.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hi.
Yeah.
Wow. Sounds like a man.
Yeah.
But hey, so tell us about. Not only have you been a frequent purveyor of the Nation Desert Classic,
Yes.
you have made quite a few boat trips to the Nation Derby on Catalina
Oh boy.
Island.
Oh boy.
Would you?
Speaking of which, we have a soft date for the Nation Derby. We've got email confirmation. Nothing's been signed yet,
Thank God.
but it's looking like November 13th, the return of the Nation Derby.
The stage just
Wow.
got better.
Wow, Nick, make sure to edit in some big band music.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
Because COVID has had an effect on us all, especially the Nation Derby. And Catalina is wide open, and I've gone through with the management over there and have secured a spot that doesn't coincide with any other events on the island at the same time. And it looks like Nation Golf, the boys are back in town.
You know,
Wow.
the Catalina trip
Is very special, and let me tell you why. Because
I love this take.
the people that live on the island actually are very similar to the people in the desert. They're fucking weird. Okay?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we love it.
Yeah.
We love it. And we get to experience just a little different environment with these people.
You know when you go to Disneyland or any theme park, you pay, you make the trip there, you got to find parking. You're kind of getting like dinged everywhere you go. But then you get behind the gates and it's like this playground of all these activities for you to do that is just so fun and memorable. And Catalina, for a degenerate, early middle-aged golfer
like us.
like us,
Yeah.
is basically our playground for being piles of shit. It's a trek to get there, which is fun. It's exciting. You get into town, they ding you at every corner. The golf course is just good enough to play,
Yeah.
but you're trapped in this really small area with the most unbelievable, eclectic group of dive bars in a short amount of space that
really
you've ever
is.
seen.
It
And so
really
you
is.
finish the tournament, your spirits are high, everyone's just slapping five and grabbing ass and hugging and drinking margs, and then you fucking drag your tail into town, and it's just a night of dive bar to dive bar and story after story until the fucking Catalina police come around and tell you to go the fuck home.
And for those that are not familiar with Southern California geography, Catalina is an island just off the coast.
26 miles across the sea.
That's right. 32 to be exact. But
Take a little clipper boat out there. I was talking to you about it the other day at dinner, and I was asking because I've never been to one of these things. So everyone just gets on a boat with their golf clubs.
yeah.
So you're riding a boat with your clubs.
I always bring a limited bag because it's somewhat of an executive course.
Yeah. It's
But either way, you're toting golf clubs on a boat, which I would venture to say not a lot of people have ever brought their golf clubs on a boat, gotten off of a boat, went to their hotel, then played in a derby, and then with all those same guys go out and paint the town.
yeah.
Best part about it is you're trapped.
Yeah.
So you're trapped with a group of ruffians who you're basically committed to the night.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's no weaseling out, which is why, the field, when I was having the derbies here on the mainland, they were a little bigger, it was a little easier to go to, and all those 25% of the field can kind of exit stage door left whenever they see fit. They can kind
They were doing
of
that.
wimp out,
Yeah.
When you're over there, it's a full commitment.
Yeah.
You're getting on the fucking boat, you're getting off the boat, you're going to play in the tournament, and then afterwards, you're signed up.
You're locked
You know what I
in.
mean? You're locked in.
Yeah.
And you might have the first boat out in the morning, which is a huge mistake because I highly recommend hitting Luau Larry's at 11 a.m. when they open and washing away your sorrows with the buffalo's milk. But that's just me.
I had four of those.
Yeah, by 11:30. It's you're trapped.
Yeah.
You're trapped, and that's the best part about it is you watch everyone's emotions
Yeah.
on their sleeve.
Sure.
You
Yep.
see their ups, you see their downs. You watch them triumph and struggle.
Yeah.
And it's something that every year we leave and we go, well, I think that's the last one. And then about 10 months later, we go, I think we should do a derby again this year.
Let's do it again.
And you're like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's do another one, you know? So.
And again, for the audience who doesn't know Catalina still, even though we described where it is, yes, it is the same famous Catalina from Step Brothers.
That's right.
Where they go out to the
I don't even think they filmed it out there.
Well,
They
even
cheaped
if they didn't film it out there, it's the same Catalina as the Catalina wine
mixer thing,
Absolutely.
right.
So that's the Catalina where the Nation Derby takes place. How many years has the Nation Derby been going on?
This will be the 7th.
7th, right? Yeah. Yeah.
But we missed a year from COVID, and I think we missed a year from something else too.
Yeah, when we switched it one year.
Yeah. So the first 2 were at Ben Brown's in Laguna Beach.
That's right.
And then a dear friend of mine who he was a pro surfer who I used to shape boards for. He was like, I was talking about it, and I was like, God, you know, I want to change the venue just to try something else and see a different, you know, add some variety to it and stuff. And he's like, dude. And I was asking him because he just came back from Catalina, and he's like, I was like, how's the course over there? And he's like, dude, it's perfect. It's just like Ben Brown's. And it really is just like Ben Brown's.
Yeah.
I think it's actually cooler. It goes back in that little canyon, and it's not coastal at all. You don't really see the ocean at all. But it's kind of got this, like, maybe like before Riverside turns into Palm Springs kind of vibe, you know? It's kind of sick.
It's got some hills.
It's got some hills. It kind of looks like palm trees and shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's groovy. And anyways, my buddy Mike was just like, you gotta call this guy. He's the mayor over there. And the mayor of Catalina, don't look it up on paper because that's not the official mayor. The official mayor is Johnny Q. Johnny Q is a born and raised surfer. Absolute, I say this with the utmost love and pride, he is a brother. That guy is just such a stand-up guy. He's been there for years. He's such a true ambassador of the place. He loves it. We go there. He gives us a full tour of the island. He's got the pass on his car to take us everywhere. He knows everybody. It was his grace that we were able to just get the red carpet rolled out for us there, and he handles everything for us and sets everything up. And calls me when my baby's born, checks in on me. He's just a
good guy.
Great fucking guy,
dude.
you know?
Good guy.
And so shout out to Johnny Q on Catalina. We're coming, brother, and can't wait. You know?
May I borrow some ice from you, partner?
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know, one thing that we really haven't touched on about Catalina is really the icon of the island, and it only happens from about 11 to 2 o'clock at night, and it's called the Cheat Club. Club Cheat, that's right. This particular club is the only nightclub on the island, and let's just say when we get to that point, everything's pretty much ready to go.
All bets are off.
All bets are off. That's right.
Wow, this sounds like a great trip. I can't wait to make it this year.
yourself.
Well, I'm glad that you have a date for it. That's great. I'm sure the people watching, especially the local ones, will be interested in how they can get in. Let's finish up.
Extreme's met some locals.
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
They're, like I said, they're very interesting people. They're great to have as friends. Thank God we know them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that where you were going with that?
Kind of.
Halfway?
Halfway.
Yeah.
Do you want to go all the way?
I don't know. You know,
Ryan knows more people than I do, so.
yeah. There's some, lot lizards, like the females that hang around truck stops.
Oh.
Well, I would say Catalina has their version of a lot lizard
They've
in
got
the
a
bar
few.
scene over there.
They've got a few. I
And
met one of them.
and Extreme at one point in time took down the Dragon Lady, and it was a feat that no less of a man could have pulled off.
I can't get into the details, but I can tell you she was an attorney from Hawaii, and we had a great weekend.
Hey, what a perfect place to end it.
You know what I mean? So cheers to that.
Cheers to that, and cheers to the fellowship. Thank you. Geoff Overstreet, Geoff Overstreet Extreme. That was fantastic. Thank
Gentlemen,
you.
thanks, guys.
Appreciate that.
So what do you like about golf, and what don't you like about it?